If Canada didn't respond to these tariffs, we would be facing major economic problems.
This trade war is causing some economic problems in both Canadian and American economies.
The question is, how will the next government handle these tariff tensions?
The bottom line, don't believe everything you see on social media, especially during election season.
A lot of people don't realize that these ads weren't made by random users.
It's getting hard to tell what's real and what's fake. Hey everyone, welcome to Turbulent Times, the best podcast if you're looking to learn about Canadian politics and to deepen your understanding about real-world situations in your very own country.
Today, we will be breaking down some of the most important political issues affecting Canada today. If you've been on social media or watching the news, you've probably heard about the upcoming Canadian election, seen political ads, and noticed the new US tariffs impacting our economy.
But what does it mean for Canadians like us? Even if you don't follow politics closely, these topics affect our economy, jobs, and even how we consume news. So, let's get into it. Let's start one of the biggest economic challenges we're facing right now, US tariffs. In case you missed the news, after the recent American election on November 5th, President Trump imposed new tariffs on Canadian imports. These tariffs impact major sectors, including agriculture, steel, mills, lumber, and car parts. Canada's economy heavily relies on the United States for trade, totaling over $900 billion in 2023. In 2024 alone, nearly 75% of Canadian exports went to the US. If Canada didn't respond to these tariffs, we would be facing major economic problems. But as a response, the Canadian government announced a $15.5 billion tariff package of its own on US exports to Canada. However, this trade war is causing some economic problems in both Canadian and American economies, as well as other economies.
Prices go up, businesses struggle, and jobs are lost. Experts predict that unemployment could rise because of Canadian manufacturers will face higher costs and may have to lay off workers. Fewer tourists are traveling between Canada and America because of these tensions, which means less money for businesses that rely on tourists, like hotels and attractions like Niagara Falls.
On the flip side, this situation has encouraged more Canadians to support locally made products and industries, helping us move towards becoming a more self-sustaining economy. While it's a tough situation, it's also pushing Canada to become less dependent of the US.
So, while these tariffs are creating serious challenges, they're also pushing Canada towards economic independence. The question is, how will the next government handle these tariff tensions?
Next up, let's talk about political ads. If you've been on social media, you've probably seen a post about Mark Carney, the Liberal leader, and that he claimed to move his headquarters to the United States and raise the carbon tax.
Trump wants our jobs.
We're going to take other countries' jobs.
And Mark Carney is just the man to help him. Trudeau and Carney sold out Canada with job-killing taxes that push jobs south. He opposed Canadian pipelines while profiting off U.S. coal. Carney even moved his company's headquarters to New York, just as Trump wanted.
You sneaky.
Carbon tax Carney. If Carney wins, Canada loses.
A lot of people don't realize that these ads weren't made by random users. These ads were created and spread by the Conservative Party. They raised major concerns about misinformation in political campaigns, aiming to put down the Liberals and help them win this upcoming election.
Yeah, but this isn't just about one political party. It's about the bigger issue of social media being used to spread false or misleading information. With AI-generated content becoming more common, it's getting harder to tell what's real and what's fake. That's why it's so important to fact check. Here are a few ways you can identify fake political information online. Number 1. Check the source. Is it a verified, trusted news site or political organization pushing an agenda? Number 2. Cross-checking the information with multiple reputable sources, like CBC or BBC. Number 3. Look for fact-checking articles if a claim is controversial. Chances are someone has already investigated its accuracy. The bottom line, don't believe everything you see on social media, especially during election season. Now, let's get into the big event coming up, the 2025 federal Canadian election on April 28th. The election was called unexpectedly after Prime Minister Mark Carney took over from Justin Trudeau. These are the two main candidates. Mark Carney, from the Liberal Party, focuses on economic stability and international trade. Pierre Poilievre, from the Conservative Party, is running a popular campaign which promises tax cuts and deregulation. Some of the biggest issues and topics to be discussed in this election include how Canada will respond to the US tariffs, how relations with China and the United States, and policies on healthcare, education, and affordability. Even if you're not eligible to vote, it is still very important to educate yourself about politics in your country. A great way to stay informed is by following different news sources and understanding how the Canadian political system works. If you have any questions about anything you may find online, make sure to fact check it. That wraps up today's discussion. We've covered a lot, from US tariffs to social media misinformation for the upcoming election. Hopefully, this helped you better understand what's happening in Canadian politics right now. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.